you would use to graph sine and cosine. When you're graphing secant and cosecant, you still have those exact same steps. The first thing you have to do is figure out what are we graphing? Are we graphing a sine wave or a cosine wave? So we already established a sine. Sine starts in the middle. Then it goes up to the top, back to the middle, bottom, back to the middle. That's the pattern for sine. You have to know that pattern. You have to know that pattern. Now, we're graphing the parent function. The parent function starts at 0. So I'm going to start here at the 0. And what is my period? What's the number in front of x? 1. So my period is 2 pi. How many hops do I go for 2 pi? 8. So let's hop 8. And I'm gonna put a little arrow. I'm putting arrows this time because I noticed that in my last class people were getting confused with the lines because of asymptote. So I'm just put little arrows. All right. The parent function has a midline at 0. So starting here, I'm just plotting my points. I got a point here at 0. Then I go to the top, which means I'm just going up 1. Then I go back to the middle. I'll go to the bottom, back to the middle. I want you to continue graphing those points until you get to the edge. Notice it's a wave. But we're graphing the sister. We're graphing cosecant. And cosecant is undefined whenever sine is 0. So when sine equals 0, if sine equals 0, that's really a 0 over 1. When I flip it to get my cosecant, it becomes 1 over 0, which is why it's undefined. Every place where sine equals 0, cosecant is undefined. So I want you to draw in asymptotes every time you put a point at 0. We're going to draw in our asymptote every single time. Okay, so we have our asymptote. Do we have an asymptote at 0? At x equals 0, do we have an asymptote? Yes. So we're going to start. My first asymptote is at x equals 0. And it's plus and minus. It's always half of the period. So if my period is 2 pi, what's half of 2 pi? Pi. That's why it's pi. And then you have to put an n at the end or a k. That just means that n means it repeats. That's why we put that. Without that, you're saying that I just have 1 on the left and 1 on the right. But we don't. We have, it keeps repeating itself. Now, with the secant and with the cosecant, every time we're at the top of the wave, which in this example is a 1, we're going to draw a smile. Whenever we're at the bottom of the wave, which in this example is -1, we have a frown. So let's go ahead and draw our graphs. Now, because this graph is not connected, we have asymptotes. Our domain is going to be all real numbers, but we have to say x will not equal 0 plus and minus pi n. Because x will never equal those numbers. And then our range, so my frown is coming from negative infinity and it goes up to here. What does y equal where you see my little red laser? What's y equal right there? So negative infinity to -1, put a bracket, and then we got a break. So I put a u. Hold on, that bracket is bothering me. Okay. So I put a U, that means union. For my smiles, the bottom is 1 and it goes up forever. This is why it is so important that you can graph a sine and cosine. Because if you can't graph sine and cosine, you will not be able to graph the sisters. Now, we're not doing tangent and cotangent. So on the test, you have two graphs. One is going to be sine or cosine, and the other one will be secant or cosecant. Okay? All right, let's do one with some transformations now. Go ahead and copy this down. Okay, so our period is 2 pi over b. This is b. B is 1, so my period is still 2 pi. And now we need to graph it. Now this one doesn't start at 0. We have a shift. To figure out where we're shifting to, or the start, we're going to take our parentheses and set it equal to 0. So this one is starting at negative pi over 2, which is right here. I'm just put a little arrow. That's where I'm starting. How many hops do I go for 2 pi? 8. Hop 8 times. This is my n value. Okay, my midline is where? Where is the middle of my graph. It's not at 0 anymore. Where is it at? -4. So I'm going to draw that in. I do think drawing in your midline is helpful. So I'm going to draw that in. And I forgot to put the pattern. So cosecant is whose sister? Sine, and where does sine start? In the middle or the top? Middle. So I'm going to start at the midline. You could even say M is midline. So we go midline, top, midline, bottom, midline. So starting right here, let me zoom in. Right here on this little axis, I'm going to start in the middle, which is on the midline. Put a point on the midline. Then we're going to hop 2 times, and we're going to be here. What is my amplitude? 2. So I want you to hop up twice. 1, 2. You're going to go up to -2. Put a point. Then we go back to the middle, or back to the midline. Then we go down 2. And then we go back to the middle. So I'm going to keep going because I want to fill up my graph. So keep, I didn't skip a point. Let me fix that. I want you to keep doing that pattern. As far as this cover the whole graph. Okay. Every time we hit the middle, cosecant has an asymptote. Every time we hit the middle, cosecant has an asymptote. So every time you put a line at -4, I want you to draw in a vertical asymptote. Yes. I did. Let me see. Did I? Oh, I sure did. Let me fix that. Thank you. Okay. See, hop 2 times, hop 2 times, hop 2 times. Okay. Let me take that little dot off. Okay. Every time we hit -4, I'm going to draw in a wall. This time I'll use blue. Every time we're at the top of the wave, which is -2, I want you to draw a smile. And whenever we're at the bottom of the wave, draw a frown. Okay, so now let's talk about our vertical asymptote. So we don't have an asymptote at 0. Do you agree that I didn't draw one at 0? The first one I drew was right here. And what is my x value on this line? What is x equal? What's that number? Pi over 2. So my asymptotes are starting at pi over 2. And we have another one every half of the period. So if my period is 2 pi, let me scoot that over actually. So x equals pi over 2 plus and minus. And what's half of 2 pi? Pi. And you have to put either an n or a k at the end to show it repeats. My domain is all real numbers. X cannot equal pi over 2 plus and minus pi n. Then you always start by giving me the range of the frown. My frown is coming from negative infinity and is going up to negative 6. My smiles start at negative 2 and they go up to infinity. And that is it. Any questions? All right, so I'm taking off the training wheels. I want you to do the next one by yourself. I'm going to come around and I will tell you how many points you would get out of 7 on the test. I am going over it at the end, but I need for you all to try. So go ahead. When you are ready, well, I'm going to come around and check them, but. Now, to be fair, the start might confuse people. Because I don't know if you know how to figure out half of a half. Because that's what you have to do. And I know fractions are not our friend. So I'm going to do that part with you. To be fair, your start, when I set my parentheses equal to 0, first I add pi over 2. What is half of 50 cents? What's half of 50 cents? Which is 1/4 of a dollar. So half of pi over 2 is pi over 4. So what I'm doing is I'm multiplying both sides by 1/2. And I get pi over 4. So I'm done talking, which is right here. Right there, that's where you should start. Yeah, well, I don't know. Oh, what's your period? Yeah, this is right. Yeah. This is pi, you have 8. Pi, you have 4. Graphing boot camp. Phone a friend. Ooh, I got you. Who has that? Well, let me see how many people I got, because I did this on purpose. That's an interesting, very interesting. Very interesting. Now you know what you did? Yeah. My bestie, Miss Taylor, told me to tell you to meet her outside of the club.
Let me tell you something, Miss Taylor. She over here salty about something that happened last year. We got to move on.
That's my bestie. I'm always tell her. So right here, this is where we started. Should have started right here, because this is pi over 4.
Oh.
Okay. Good. Okay. I know that's right.
Oh, God, she said yours was interesting. Oh, let me show you this campus slide.
So they're taking the test next week. It won't take the class. But everything I taught in January is going to be on the final. So I want to show you how to go back and study that stuff. Another thing that you have to memorize the unit circle. You know what the unit circle is? Yeah, so once you get some videos, once you get into it, this is required for everybody. What's wrong with your login, do you know?
Make sure to read the questions.
Okay, do you have internet? Okay, go to YouTube on your phone. Well, I'll wait till the end of class, and I'm gonna show you, because you do need to know, though, you have to know that part. Okay. Did anybody get got? Okay, let me tell you something. Oh, wait. Let me ask you a question. Do we have asymptotes? Does this function have vertical asymptotes? Yes or no? No. Who has vertical asymptotes? Secant and cosecant. So you have to be careful with that. Now, I'm going to be honest. If you have a completely blank graph, you need to make a point to stay after. I stay after on Monday. Okay? So, sine is going to start. Okay, so my period, what's my amplitude? 2. My period is pi. I went right, pi over 4. I went up 3. Sine and cosine, domain is all real numbers. Okay, so starting here, I am going to draw in my midline. I think that's helpful. Okay, so starting here, where I have my purple arrow, sine is on the midline. And then I'm going up 3. Oh, up 2, sorry, up 2. Then I go back to the middle. Down 2, back to the middle. This is what my wave should look like. And now I need to do one more period. To get full credit, I need one more period. So I'm gonna go to the right. No arrows. So this sine wave, bracket -1, not -1, sorry. Bracket 1. Let me just erase that. Bracket 1 to bracket 5. All right, one more question and that's it for today. This is boot camp. I'm taking off the training wheels. You gotta thug it out. You gotta just suffer through it. Monday, all we're doing is graphing, and I'm passing out your study guide. All right, go ahead and copy this one down. We'll see how we go. So right here, you should have started, you shouldn't have an asymptote right here. You should have a smile right there. All right. I'll give you all a couple of minutes and then you can go to another blank graph and fix it if you didn't get what I got. Okay. So, what's my period? Pi. Where did you start this graph at? Negative pi over 2 right here. This is why I start putting arrows instead of lines. Because if I draw a line, I don't want you to think that's an asymptote. Because it's not. Cosine doesn't start in the middle. It starts at the top. And my period is pi, so that's only 4 hops. So I'm starting at the top. Where is the top going to be? 3. And then I'm going down to the middle, and then I'm going to the bottom. Back to the middle, top, middle. Oops, I skipped one. Middle, bottom, middle, top. I'm not going to do a whole lot. I'm going to just do one more. Okay. Every time I hit the middle, I should have an asymptote. Every time I'm at the top, there should be a smile. Oh, I put my asymptote in the wrong place. Ooh, listen, I tell you what. I was like, I'm going to thug it out. I ain't going to miss no days. But when I tell you I am struggling. Okay. That should be here. Here. Okay. All right. So I have a smile. Then I have a frown. This time they're skinny though. Skinny. Because my period is cut in half. I don't have a whole lot of room. Now, my first positive vertical asymptote is at pi over 4. Plus and minus. Your asymptotes are always going to be at half of the period. So what's half of pi? What's half of pi? What do you get when you take pi and divide it by 2? Pi over 2. So it's plus and minus pi over 2 n. My domain is all real numbers except pi over 4 plus and minus pi over 2 n. My range, negative infinity to negative 3. Union positive 3 to infinity.